Here's my take. For a third straight month, inflation has been higher than expected, suggesting that the Federal Reserve will find it difficult to lower interest rates, which could slow down the economy. And that endangers President Biden's re-election prospects. Economists are unsure as to why inflation has persisted. Some of it is surely a persistent hangover from the pandemic, but some of it could well be that a feature of recent economic policy of both the Trump and Biden administrations has been to ask consumers to pay more for goods and services. Both administrations boost the economy with large pandemic relief packages, which without question added to inflationary pressures. But beyond those bills, which have by now probably worked their way through the system, there is another possible cause. Donald Trump had few tangible achievements in office, but he can credibly point to breaking with decades of bipartisan economic policy on tariffs. Trump raised tariffs on China as well as on many of America's closest allies in the West. While candidate Biden criticized those tariffs, President Biden has kept most in place. In addition, the Biden administration has imposed tight Buy America provisions with large spending bills, such as the Inflation Reduction Act and the Infrastructure Act. All of these policies ask Americans to pay more to achieve certain goals. Less dependence on China, greater resilience, subsidizing green energy, boosting domestic manufacturing. Even the IRA, as three economists have recently shown, is about 5 times more expensive as a way to cut carbon emissions compared to a simple carbon tax. All of the political goals Biden is promoting might well be worthwhile, but they do come at a cost. And one wonders if the cost will be permanently higher inflation. The tariffs are the most egregious of all these policies. Despite Trump's rhetoric to the contrary, they are a tax on American consumers. U.S. customs and border estimates so far Americans have paid more than $230 billion in these taxes. In addition, tens of billions of dollars for their losses in agricultural exports as a consequence of China's retaliatory tariffs. It's hard to find anyone who believes that tariffs have been effective. They have not altered China's policies one iota, and they have cost the American economy money and lost jobs. According to the Tax Foundation, each year the tariffs cost the U.S. economy 200,000 jobs and 0.25% of its GDP, or roughly $70 billion in annual output. Or to put it another way, enacting a modest set of liberalization policies proposed by the Peterson Institute in 2022 would reduce inflation by about 1.3 percentage points, which works out to almost $800 of savings per American household. The Office of the U.S. Trade Representative promised to review the tariffs to determine whether they have been effective or not. It has been working on this review now for over 2 years with no end in sight, despite apparently having little on its agenda these days since it has abandoned its core business of promoting trade. A senior administration official confessed to me that the reason is that if the USTR admits that the tariffs have failed, it will also have to recommend that they be lifted, which the Biden team does not want to do. There is also a foreign policy cost to this rising protectionism in America. President Biden met with his Japanese counterpart this week to strengthen the alliance between America and one of its longest and closest allies. Yet his administration has announced a staunch opposition to a Japanese company buying U.S. steel, a company that has been foundering for years and is a shadow of the behemoth it once was. Nippon Steel, the Japanese company, promises to invest in U.S. steel, honor its labor contracts, and retain all its workers into 2026. In short, it would rescue an underperforming American company.